Chad Scott along with Gridiron Now recruiting analyst Ryan Green, and we're going to give you another look at how the LSU Tigers recruiting class for 2018 is shaping up, and quite frankly, it's shaping up very well. Ed Orgeron has a reputation as a tireless recruiter, and boy, he's put a lot of points on the board already for 2018.
You know, think about it this way, Chad. If you were to add up Georgia, Florida, and Alabama, they have right now a total of 14 commitments, those three schools. LSU has 16 for the class of 2018. So LSU has more combined than the Dogs, the Gators, and the Crimson Tide. Ed Orgeron's gotten off to a very fast start, 16 commitments. That is the most in the SEC right now.
Yeah, fantastic start for Ed Orgeron, and he's not done. Obviously, 16. I mean, the class is going to probably add another 10 guys or so, depending on how things shake out. You had the chance to catch up with a top tight end from the New Orleans area, who is kind of thinking Alabama, LSU. He's got a lot of options, and he has an interesting story.
Yeah, Glenn Beal is his name, from the New Orleans area, has Alabama and LSU among his top 5, top 6 schools that he has remaining. I've heard this from Glenn, and I've heard this from kids already in 2018 and going back to 2017. Kids that live in Louisiana and primarily around the New Orleans, Baton Rouge area, they feel there's a lot of outside pressure on them to go to LSU. And I think a lot of places you would think that. I'm sure if you live in Atlanta, there's pressure to go to Georgia. I'm sure if you live, say, in Jacksonville, there's pressure to go to Florida. But I hear it more from the Louisiana kids that there is pressure from the outside for those kids to remain home and go to LSU. Some are okay with it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, some are not.
Well, and when you look at LSU, and this has always been the case, LSU traditionally recruits Louisiana very heavily. Despite the small population of that state, it produces a totally disproportionate number of high quality football players. So for the 16 commitments for 2018, most of those are from Louisiana. Beal is from Louisiana. They're also in the mix for a top wide receiver out of Louisiana.
Yeah, Jamar Chase is a 3-star on some websites, 4-star on most websites. Wide receiver from Louisiana. He has LSU in his final 3, along with Tennessee and TCU, the Horned Frogs. So LSU, TCU, and Tennessee for Jamar Chase. I think he's leaning LSU. That's my opinion in the conversations I've had with him. But certainly good news for the Tigers that they made his final 3.
Well, and it is an incredible luxury for LSU to have so much homegrown talent so close by, and to be the only Power 5 school in that state. You know, you've got Tulane and you've got, you know, Louisiana Lafayette and Louisiana Tech, but they are one of the very few states in the country where there is a Power 5 school in the state, but no one else. You know, Wisconsin is like that, but they've got no talent. Minnesota like that, but no talent. You know, New Jersey is like that, and there's a lot of talent there, but Rutgers has traditionally been awful. So, you know, Louisiana has been built on players from in-state, and this year is going to be no different.
Well, you're right, Chad. They're going to get a lot of kids from Louisiana. The one thing I would tell LSU fans to monitor, though, Caden Stearns is a young man that decommitted from LSU, committed to Texas. Tom Herman's picking up steam in the Lone Star State, which is where LSU was able to get a lot of kids here recently because Texas was struggling. So that is something to monitor, that Tom Herman's beginning to get his feet wet there in the Lone Star State, beginning to get kids to stay home and not go out of state. Many of them were going to LSU.
He is Gridiron Now recruiting analyst Ryan Green. My name is Chad Scott, and stay right here with the Gridiron Now LSU Facebook page as we lead you up into the season, but then into National Signing Day 2018 as well.